भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ॐ अज्ञानातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च। श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथं वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णविष्टाय भूतले प्रभुपादति प्रिय श्री गिरिराजाय स्वामी सुवक्त्रशास्त्र विज्ञाय धृतसाधनशालिने राधारास बिहारिव्यं भक्तिवेश्चात्मदायिने। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णविष्टाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदेवतारनं। हरे कृष्ण। So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 28. So today we must complete this chapter. So we are on which text?
54.
54, okay. So it's been a very intense, extremely intense chapter. Madhuri, I can't see you. Maybe you can shift to the next one. So 54. Hamsavaham chatvam charya sakhayo manasayano abhutam antaravaukah sahasra parivatsaran.
My dear gentle friend, both you and I are exactly like two swans We live together in the same heart, which is just like the Manasa lake. Although we have been living together for many thousands of years, we are still far away from our original home.
Okay, so here comes where we are from and what are we doing here in this material world. Who's speaking? And who is that Brahmana? The super soul, the Paramatma, right? So at the time of death, we described last week, at the time of death, the Paramatma speaks. And usually he speaks how? Yes? How does he speak? The Paramatma, how does he speak when there is some death? How does he speak? Through the mouth of the Brahmanas. Alright? So now, here we are being reminded of who we are and where we come from. That we are rotating in this cycle of birth and death. So, I'm just hearing Bhakti Swarup Swami Maharaj. You know how he said that the time of death is an opportunity for the soul to go out completely from the body. The time of death is an opportunity for him because he is getting free now from the body. But what does he do with himself is he decides, right? So this is what's being discussed here. Yeah, read.
The original home of the living entity and the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, both the Lord and the living entities live together very peacefully. Since the living entity remains engaged in the service of the Lord, they both share a blissful life in the spiritual world. However, when the living entity wants to enjoy himself, he falls down into the material world. Even when he is in that position, the Lord remains with him as Super Soul, his intimate friend. Because of his forgetfulness, the living entity does not know that the Supreme Lord is accompanying him as the Super Soul. In this way, the living entity remains conditioned in each and every millennium. Although the Lord follows him as a friend, the living entity, because of forgetful material existence, does not recognize him.
Text 55. Is it clear? Text 55. Satuham vihaya mam bandho gato gramya matirmahim vicharan padam adrakshihi kayachin nirmitam sriya. Jyotiji, you like to sit next to Madhuri so you can read from her book? I'm sorry, Shilpa, Jyoti. Yeah, who's reading?
Hare Krishna. My dear friend, you are now my very same friend.
Is it on?
My very same friend. Since you left me, you have become more and more materialistic, and not seeing me, you have been traveling in different forms throughout this material world, which was created by some women. While the living entity falls down, it goes into the material world, which was created by the external energy of the Lord. This external energy is described herein as some women or Prakriti. This material world is composed of material elements, ingredients applied by the Mahatattva, the total material energy. The material world, created by this external energy, becomes the so-called home of the conditioned soul. Within this material world, the conditioned soul accepts different apartments or different bodily forms and then travels about. Sometimes he travels in the higher planetary system and sometimes in the lower systems. Sometimes he travels in higher species of life and sometimes in lower species. He has been wandering within this material universe since time immemorial, as explained by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Brahmande Brahmati Kona Bhagyavan Jiva Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti Lata Bij. Chaitanya Madhya 19.155. The living entity wanders into many species of life, but he is fortunate when he once again meets his friend, either in persons or through his representative. Actually, it is in Krishna who personally advises all living entities to return home, back to Godhead. Sometimes Krishna sends his representative who, delivering Krishna's very message, convinces all living entities to return home, back to Godhead. Unfortunately, the living entity is so greatly attached to material enjoyment that it does not take the instructions of Krishna or his representative very seriously. This material tendency is mentioned in these words as Gramya Matila.
Matihi.
Gramya Matihi. Sense gratification. The word Mahi means within this material world. All living entities within this material world are sensually inclined. Consequently, they become entangled in different types of bodies and suffer the pangs of material existence.
Yeah. So, this material world is created by the external energy of the Lord, Prakriti. Actually, we should remove this chair, no? Just remove that chair. Okay, fine. Well, we are just open. There it's good. There it's good. Yes, so this material world is created by the external energy of the Lord, Prakriti. And the verse is Sriya. Kachin nirmitam Sriya. Nirmitam in manufactured. So this material world is manufactured by a woman. So this woman is Prakriti. Okay, she can sit there. Let her sit there. Yeah, you can sit there. Yeah, I'm unable to see you now. Okay, you can sit here. So this material world is composed of material elements, ingredients supplied by the Mahat Tattva or the total material energy. The material world created by this external energy becomes the so-called home of the conditioned soul. Can you give an example of what is described here? You give an example. I mean, actually, how it translates in our day-to-day life. What's discussed here? No, I'm speaking of the creation. Your day-to-day experience, what it is. Here, this external energy of the Lord is described as a woman. This material world is composed of material elements, ingredients supplied by the Mahat Tattva, the total material energy. This material world created by this external energy become the so-called home of the conditioned soul. So what is this creation? Yeah, correct. And manufactured by your day-to-day experience. This is great, philosophical language, but I just want, what is your common experience? Yeah, what's visible to you? How creation is happening? We are not speaking of change here, we are speaking of creation. How is it created? Mother. All right. That's what we are talking about. Every day you are seeing it happening, right? The mother is creating the body. How is she creating the body? According to this? From the ingredients. All right, the ingredients supplied by Mahat Tattva. All right, it is not that the mother herself is creating the child, the body of the child, right? The ingredient to manufacture the body of the child is coming from Mahat Tattva. And this, what is this Mahat Tattva? Yeah, and where is it coming from? Lord Vishnu, yes. Alright? Lord Vishnu. We are able to follow this? Alright? Everybody understand now? Or we should not just read philosophical language. We should be able to identify it with our eyes. Otherwise, we just remain an idea, a concept, vague, in the air. And we go on reading without relating to it. So remember that what is being spoken here is simply the creation of the child within the womb of the mother. Alright? So the mother is creating the child. But from where is she creating it? It's being created from the 5 elements. Those 5 elements are coming from Mahat Tattva. And this Mahat Tattva is supplied by the Supreme Lord, Vishnu. Alright? And also, so this body now, this body becomes the home of who? Your body becomes? Yeah, your home. Your body is your home. Alright? Sorry? I don't want philosophy, I want what you are seeing with your eyes. What are you seeing with your eyes? That you are living in your body, which is your home.
So the body becomes the home for the soul.
Yeah. Alright? Alright, this is your home now. Your body. It's your home, you live there. Rented, yeah. Why rented? Not rented. Your own, you bought it. What's going to happen to it now? It's going to disintegrate, right? That's what we are undergoing right now, most of us, right? It's going to disintegrate, and then what happens next? You move from one apartment to another apartment, okay? What does that mean? We are different. Prabhupada said different bodily forms. Today I look like this, tomorrow by my karma I look something else, like this devotee, she showed me, her mother passed away, her friend's mother passed away. So she wanted to show me a picture of the mother who passed away, So she showed me the picture. I said, oh, what a beautiful woman. And she was really a beauty. And looking, she passed away. She doesn't look the same, right? Right? The home has changed, right? So that's what it is. So different bodily forms, and then travels about. So the soul moves from one place to the next to the next. Sometimes it goes to the higher planetary system. Sometimes it goes down, right? Swarga or Patal. And sometimes where? Animal body, middle body, or well, not yet. Not sometime. That is permanent. This is sometimes he tries the higher species of life, meaning he may become a deva, right? Actually, maybe we were deva in our past life, and then we came and sitting here in this earthly planet, right? Or maybe we are coming from down, we don't know which loka, right? So we come up here. So he has been wandering within this material world since time immemorial. It's endless wandering until he becomes fortunate. What is his good fortune? He meets his friend. Who is that friend? The super soul or Guru, yes. Guru. He meets the Guru. So Krishna is advising all the time. Now look at all of us. We're still sitting here in this material world. Meaning we haven't taken the advice seriously. again and again Prabhupada is going to put this word seriously. I've heard, but I'm not taking it seriously, right? And what is this symptom that we haven't taken it seriously? Yes. Yeah, my question is, what is the symptom that we are not taking Krishna or Guru's advice seriously? What is the symptom? What is the symptom?
No, we are
Forget?
we are still into self-satisfaction.
Yeah, yes. Yes, we don't practice. We don't practice, right? We are taking mic, right, every day. How many thousands of people are coming to the temple? Hundreds and thousands, right? We are saying, chant Hare Krishna, chant Hare Krishna. Are we chanting? We're not chanting, we're not serious, right? That's what Prabhupada is saying. Or we say, follow the 482 principles, right? Or we say, read Bhagavad Gita, right? So many instructions are given, but we don't take it seriously, unfortunately. The living entity is so greatly attached to material enjoyment. So why is he not taking things seriously? Because of his attachments. Yes. You say, if I will chant, then I will give up this, I will give up that. If I take prasadam, then I'll give up this, I'll give up that. If I start coming to the temple, then I'll give this up. So I don't want, right? So we say, hold on, hold on. That's why, see, in order to catch one thing, you have to let go of it, right? In the same hand, you can't catch it. You have to let go, then you can catch. So this material tendency is mentioned in this verse as Gramya Matihi. Gramya Matihi. Actually, this Gramya means like village. Gramya, village, is it? Gramya Matihi. And what? Your intelligence is only like limited to what goes on in your own village, right? Right? You're not broad-minded, right? Udaradhi, like we say. Udaradhi meaning broad-minded, Mahatma, right? Here, Gramya Matihi meaning you only know you and your home and maybe your neighbors and maybe a little bit of your village, right? Like a village, usually, how many people live in a village? That's a big village. 1 lakh people, 100,000 people. It's a big village. Yeah, usually. So, so in a village, you could even say that a village, if 1,000, 2,000 people, this is still a village, right? Bigger village is 10,000. And Prabhupada says a city shouldn't be more than 50,000.
50,000.
Yeah, this is a city, a town, So that's why it's most unnatural. All these, how many people are here in Bombay? Almost 2 crore. So it's most unnatural, these mega cities. And very few of them. Oops. Satvam ivihaya man bandhu. Oh, my friend. Bandhu, just see how Krishna is calling us. Oh, my friend. Bandhu. Gato gramya matir. Material. Mati, whose consciousness, material, right? Your little village. Gramya, Matir. Mahim, to earth, Vicharan, traveling padam. Position. Adrakshihi, you saw. Kayachit, by someone. Nirmita, manufactured. Striya, by a woman. Actually, they say if there is no woman, there is no creation. Even in the village, right? A home is created by a woman, right? If there is no woman, there is only the forest left, right? So that's why. So, all living entities within this material world are sensually inclined. Consequently, they become entangled in different types of bodies and suffer the pangs of material existence. Okay, text 56. Pancharamham navadvaram ekapalam trikostakam Shatkulam pancha vipanam pancha prakriti striya dhavam.
Hare Krishna. In that city, the material body, there are 5 gardens, 9 gates, 1 protector, 3 apartments, 6 families, 5 stores, 5 material elements, and 1 woman who is lord of the house.
So here we go. Stri dhavam. So the woman Stri dhavam, master. Okay, text 57. Panchendriyatha arama dwara prana nava prabhu tejo anani kusthani kulam indriya sangraha.
Translation. My dear friend, the 5 gardens are 5 objects of sense enjoyment, and the protector is the life air, which passes through the 9 gates. The 3 apartments are the chief ingredients, fire, water and earth. The 6 families are the aggregate total of the mind and 5 senses. The 5 senses that acquire knowledge are sight, taste, smell, sound and touch, and these are through the 9 gates, the 2 eyes, the 2 ears, 1 mouth, 2 nostrils, 1 genital and 1 rectum. These holes are compared to gates in the walls of the city. The principal ingredients are earth, water and fire, and the principal actor is the mind, which is controlled by the intelligence, buddhi.
We are familiar with this? Alright. Text 58. Vipanastu kriya shaktir bhuta prakritir avyaya Shaktya disha pumam stvatra pravishto navabudhyate.
Translation. The 5 stores are the 5 working sensory organs. They transact their business through the combined forces of the 5 elements, which are eternal. Behind all this activity is the soul. The soul is the person and an enjoyer in reality. However, because he is not hidden within the city of the body, he is devoid of knowledge. Purport. The living entity enters the material creation with the aid of the 5 elements earth, water, fire, air and ether, and thus his body is formed. Although the living entity is working from within, he is nonetheless unknown. The living entity enters the material creation, but because he is bewildered by the material energy, he appears to be hidden. The bodily conception of life is prominent because of ignorance. Nava buddhyate. Intelligence is described in the feminine gender, but owing to her prominence in all activity, she is described in this verse as Adisha, the controller. The living entity lives by the means of fire, water and fruit grains. It is through the combination of these 3 that the body is maintained. Consequently, the body is called Prakriti, material creation. All the elements gradually combine to form flesh, bone, blood and so on. All these appears as various apartments. It is said in the Vedas that the digested food are ultimately divided into 3. The solid portion becomes stool, the semi-liquid portion turns into flesh, the liquid portion turns yellow and is again divided into 3. One of these liquid portion is called urine. Similarly, the fiery portion is divided into 3 and one is called bone. Out of the 5 elements, fire, water and food grain are very important. These 3 are mentioned in the previous verse, whereas sky, ether and air are not mentioned. This is all explained in Bhagavad Gita 13.20. Prakritim purusham cheva viddhi anadi ubhavapi vikaramans cha gunams cheva viddhi prakriti sambhavam. Material nature and the living entity should be understood to be beginningless. Their transformations and modes of matters are products of material nature. Prakriti, material nature, and Purusha, the living entity, are eternal. When they both come in contact, there are different reactions and manifestations. All of them should be considered the results of the interactions of the 3 modes of material nature.
So where's the soul?
Inside the body.
And what is it doing here? We know it's there. Are you seeing the soul?
No, it is hidden because it is bewildered by the material energy.
All right. We are all souls, but we don't know we are souls, right? Right? We don't know we are souls. Why? Because the soul is hidden. How will you know your soul? How can you know your soul? How do you know your conscious soul and conscious? How do you know your soul? Conscious, so much philosophy is floating around, right? Scientists are saying so many stuff, right? How do you know your soul?
क्योंकि हम बोलते हैं कि मेरा मैं शरीर हूँ, तो मैं ऐसे नहीं बोलती हूँ कि मेरा हाथ, ऐसे नहीं बोलती हूँ, मैं हाथ हूँ, ऐसा नहीं मैं बोलती हूँ. इसीलिए पता चलेगा बॉडी और सोल अलग है.
But actually, how did you come to think about it? Huh? Where's the knowledge coming from? Yeah. There's no way you can know your soul. There's no way. Just no way. Here, this verse is explicitly saying that the soul is hidden within the body. Is God visible?
No.
Where's God?
He's everywhere.
How do you know He's everywhere?
Through Shastra.
Through Shastra. Alright? Again, God is hidden. The soul is hidden. God is also hidden. How you know about God and yourself? Through Shastra. There's no other way. There's just no other way. So it is take it or leave it. Alright? But then how do you know that actually there is soul and there is God? How do you know?
By practicing the yoga system and realizing by the mercy of
Yes, tell me something, more concrete. You should be able to convince somebody, right? That you're actually soul and there's God.
When we see any death, then we know that once the Chetna is gone, the body becomes lifeless. So that is a first proof that there is something much beyond the body. The body functions only through the activity. The soul is the life force. So that is one practical way of understanding that there is a soul in the body, or whatever, Chetna or soul or consciousness, because of which the body is active.
Yes, and what about God?
God, I think it's through realization only. He manifests at times.
No, God exists.
जो प्रकृति में सब हम देखते हैं, जैसे सूरज उगता है, चंद्र रहता है, या कुछ भी जो कुछ भी हम देखते हैं, तो हम तो नहीं कर रहे हैं, तो एक शक्ति है, वो शक्ति भगवान
behind any law there is a lawmaker, or behind any intelligence there is an intelligent person. When we see the nature, we know that there is some intelligence.
You see, we are asking questions, that today in Kali Yuga everybody asks. right? So you're all right, meaning that first we need to be told that your soul, because the soul is hidden, so you can't know the person does. Everybody cries and think he's gone. Then you have to hear that no, he's actually not gone, right? You have to hear, like this 5-year-old child who sees, the grandfather, somebody died. He doesn't know what's going on. You have to say, have to tell, first thing, right? Then you have to show the way you're all saying. First thing you have to hear from Shastra, then you have to see, meaning the indications, the symptom that this is soul and this is matter. And same with that there is a supreme control, there is a God. Yes, there's God. Now everybody knows, this is what's going to happen next. Even after you have understood that you are not the body, you are the soul, and now suddenly you're going to break out of your body, where do you go? Right? There's so many avenues that you can take, so many paths that you can take. The Buddhists say it's all zero, right? The Mayavadis say it's one, right? And then the Vaishnavas say no, it's two and many, right? So just imagine we are so ignorant, we don't even know who we are. Okay, now we have understood at least that I am a soul within the body. Matter and myself separated. Now when you're going to move out, you don't know where to go, right? You don't know where to go. You just stand at the airport, you don't know which plane to take, right? The Shunyavad, Mayavad or Vaishnav, right? Or Goloka plane. You don't know which one to take. So we need to be educated, we need to be told, okay? So, this is very important. The soul is hidden, just like God is hidden. Now, intelligence, so all of you, when I ask how do you know your soul and how do you know there's God, all of you, what did you do? How did you give me the answer? Use of intelligence, all right? And this intelligence is described as feminine. Where else do you find this? Where else do you find that this buddhi? Yes. What Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita? About intelligence. Yes. Among women I am. You had only fine speech, I am intelligence. Right? So here Prabhupada is explaining that intelligence. So where is that? Oh, avabuddhate. Anyway, intelligence is feminine. I don't know. Intelligence is feminine. Why? So intelligence describing the feminine gender, but owing, okay, that's what I was looking for. But owing, Shakti, okay. Shakti adhi shaha. Shakti, the energy, meaning this is feminine. Adhi shaha. So why? Intelligence is describing the feminine gender, but owing to her prominence in all activities, she is described in this verse as adhishaha, meaning if you don't have intelligence, you can't function, right? You have no intelligence. You cannot function. You don't know what to do and what not to do, right? So this is, she's the controller. Intelligence is the controller of the body, right? Intelligence, the control of the body, your decisions. Okay, the rest is Ayurveda, is it? It's medical, how what's happening with the body. Hmm?
The water, origin, fire, water and air.
So Prakriti, material nature, and Purusha, the living entity, are eternal. When both come in contact, there are different reactions and manifestations. Right? This Purusha, who's the Purusha? Who's the Purusha here?
Living entity.
The living entity, and Prakriti, material nature. So this living entity enters into Prakriti. Alright? Prakriti is eternal and Purusha is also eternal. But unfortunately, when they combine together, then they produce so many material manifestations. Because Prakriti is material, right? Material nature. So the Purusha, who is actually separate and hidden within the body, start to interact with material nature and shows so many different forms: feminine, male, female, animal, plant, aquatics, insects, human beings, devas, rakshasas, yakshas, everything. Text 59. Tasmin stvam ramaya sprishtu ramamano shruta smritihi tatsangad idrishyam prapto dasham papiyasim prabhu.
Translation: My dear friend, when you enter such a body along with the woman of material desire, you become overly absorbed in sense enjoyment. Because of this, you have forgotten your spiritual life. Due to your material conception, you are placed in various miserable conditions. Okay. When a person becomes materially engrossed, he has no capacity to hear about spiritual existence. Forgetfulness of spiritual existence entangles a man more and more in material existence. Such is the result of sinful life. Various bodies are developed with the material ingredients because of different types of sinful activities. King Puranjana assumed the body of a woman, Vaidyanti, as a result of his sinful activity. Bhagavad Gita clearly says, Striyo Vaishyat Tata Shudra, that such a body is no God. If one takes shelter of Supreme Personality of Godhead, however, he can be elevated to the highest perfection, even though he be no born. One acquires no birth when one's spiritual intelligence is reduced.
Okay, so now, what is material existence?
Forgetfulness of spiritual existence.
Simple, right? As soon as I forget spiritual existence, I deny all the activities of spiritual life, so immediately I'm in material existence. Alright, so why do we fall into various material situations? What is the cause? Sinful activities, right? Sinful activities. Can we get out of it? Yes. It doesn't matter in what status we may be. Here Prabhupada is speaking of low born. It doesn't mean that we stay where we are. So low born means it's due to sinful activities. But as soon as one takes shelter of the Supreme Personal Godhead, it can be elevated to. And what will make a person who is low born take to Krishna consciousness?
When he develops a proper spiritual intelligence.
Yes, meaning you need to be intelligent. You can see how intelligence is independent of your body. Can you see that? All right, you are out of the circle. Urmilaji, you can come. Or you want to go there? Okay. Just next to Mamta Maya? You're comfortable there, or you want to? Would like you? No? I would like you to be in the circle. Oh, there's no. Okay, fine. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, so one acquires lower birth when one's spiritual intelligence is reduced. One's spiritual intelligence. So now we are making the difference. What is material intelligence and what is spiritual intelligence? All right? And this intelligence has been described in the previous verse as what? What does that mean? Controller. All right? Controller. Meaning that intelligence decides what type of body you earn. All right? Very, very important. So that's why man, woman, Indian, Chinese, American, African, everybody need to hear from Shastra, need to hear from Guru and Krishna, because enlightenment is being given. Alright? Okay, next 60. Natvam vidarbha duhita nayam vira surittava napatistam puranjanya rudho navamukhe yaya.
Actually, you are not the daughter of Vidarbha, nor is this man, Malaya Devraja, your well-wishing husband. Nor were you the actual husband of Puranjani. You were simply captivated in this body of 9 gates. Perfect. In the material world, many living entities come into contact with one another, and increasing their attachment to a particular type of body, become related as father, husband, mother, wife, etc. Actually, every living entity is a separate individual being, and it is because of his contact with matter that he comes together with other bodies and becomes falsely related. False bodies create various associations in the name of family, community, society, and nationality. Actually, every living entity is part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but the living entities are overly engrossed in the material body. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, appears and gives instructions in the form of Bhagavad Gita and Vedic literatures. The Supreme Lord gives these instructions because He is the eternal friend of the living entities. His instructions are important because by them, the living entity can obtain liberation from bodily engagement.
Okay, so now, is this clear? Clear to everybody? Is it clear to you, Shilpaji? Okay, yes.
As water passes down a river, many straws and grasses are carried from the shore. These straws and grasses come together in the river's current, but when the waves toss this way and that, they are separated and carried somewhere else. Similarly, the innumerable living entities within this material world are being carried by the waves of material nature. Sometimes the waves bring them together and they form friendships and relate to one another on a bodily basis of family, community, or nationality. Eventually, they are thrown out of association by the waves of material nature. This process has been going on since the creation of material nature. In this regard, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur sings,
Okay, let's sing this together. Niche mayar base, yache beshe, kacho hagu dubu bhai, jiva Krishna das e vishwa, kale toar dukhanai. Radha Krishna bol bol, bolo Do you know this beautiful song? Hmm? Yes.
My dear living entities, you are being carried away by the waves of material nature. Sometimes you are on the surface, sometimes you are being drowned. In this way, your eternal life is being spoiled. If you simply catch hold of Krishna and take shelter of his lotus feet, you will once again get free from all miserable material conditions. In this verse, the word Sudra, well-wisher, and Tava, your, are very significant. One's so-called husband, relative, son, father, or whatever cannot actually be a well-wisher. The only actual well-wisher is Krishna himself, as Krishna confirms in Bhagavad Gita 5.29. Suhardam, Sarva Bhutanam, society, friendship, love, and well-wishers are all simply results of being packed in different bodies. One should know this well and try to get out of this bodily engagement into which one is thrown birth after birth. One should take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, and return home back to Godhead.
Yes, so here, this is very famous, very famous. Actually, we read all these passages, but everybody knows when somebody passes away how painful it is, right? We all know how we suffer when somebody passes away, even though we know all this. And I just remembered a couple of months back, when this young brahmachari, suddenly had an accident and he left the body. I mean, it was so much distress, And then, it was exactly like that. We were hanging on the words of, Gopal Krishna Maharaj was here, and then there was another Maharaj. He was not here, but he was speaking, But like you really like hang on them, right? I mean, it's so painful. And Maharaj, Gopal Krishna Maharaj, quoted this, and that we are like straws and grasses coming together in the river's current. We come together, and then we are all dispersed, right? So, you can't live by yourself. You need to be told this again and again, especially when there is calamity. This point of separation from others, whether you know them or you don't know them, just that they are around you. So this is something very important that we always quote. So our only actual well-wisher is Krishna himself, because everybody goes away. Whether your husband, your son, your father, whoever it may be, everybody finally leaves you. So who is left behind? Yeah, that Paramatma. When we enter into this material world, the Paramatma actually brings us in the material world. We can't even enter. The soul is so tiny and helpless, cannot even enter material nature. The Paramatma has to take us, bring us in the material world when the whole creation of the body is happening, right? Who's doing all this? Who's making you live? Right? When you're in the mother's womb, the Paramatma has to make you live, make us live. Okay, let's run through this. I hope we can finish this. It's so huge. I don't think we'll finish. Okay, let's try. 61. Maya yesha maya shrishtaha yat pumam samspriyam satim manyasya no bhayam yat vai hamso pashyavayor gatim.
Translation. Sometimes you think yourself a man, sometimes a chaste woman, and sometimes a neutral eunuch.
This is all because of the body, which is created by the illusory energy. This illusory energy is my potency, and actually both of us, you and I, are pure spiritual identities. Now just try to understand this. I am trying to explain our factual position. The factual position of both the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the living entity is qualitatively one. The Supreme Lord is the Supreme Spirit, the Super Soul, and the living entity is the individual spiritual soul. Even though both of them are original spiritual identities, the living entity forgets his identity when he comes in contact with material nature and becomes conditioned. At such a time, he identifies himself as a product of the material nature. Because of the material body, he forgets that he is the eternal, Sanatana, part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is confirmed in this way.
Vamsho Jivaloke Jivabhuta Sanatana.
The word Sanatana is found in several places in Bhagavad Gita. Both the Lord and the living entity are Sanatana, eternal, and there is also a place known as Sanatana, beyond this material nature. The real residence of both the living entity and God is the domain of Sanatana, not this material world. The material world is the temporary, eternal energy external energy of the Lord, and the living entity is placed in this material world because he wanted to imitate the position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this material world, he tries to enjoy his senses to his best capacity. All the activities of the conditioned soul within this material world are perpetually taking place in different types of bodies. But when the living entity acquires developed consciousness, he should try to rectify his situation and again become a member of the spiritual world.
Okay, so what should we become? A member of the spiritual world and not a member of the material world, right? Right now we are a member of the material world. What language? Prabhupada is choosing his words, right? Invitation, life membership of Hare Krishna movement. Yes, so why do we fall in this material world? Yes. Yeah, you say material desire. What is that material desire? We want to be specific. We want to imitate what? The position. What is that position? Yeah, yes. We want to be the controller. Right? The one who has power over others. The one who says, who say, I say and you do. Right? You know, I just met one lady a couple of days back. She told me she doesn't have a servant. She does all her work herself. And she told me, because I don't want to give orders. That's what she told me. She says, you know, if I start, you know, if I have a servant, then I'll have to say, do this, do that, and I want to control them. I was amazed. She said she doesn't want to do this. You know, I give you orders and you do. Right? It's actually quite an uncomfortable situation. I say and you do. Yeah, so we want to imitate the position of the Supreme Person of Godhead. And what does he want to do when he comes in here? What's his work? Yes, enjoy his senses to his best capacity, best capacity. And of course, all of us have been defeated in that attempt because your next door neighbor also want the same. On your own house, right? Your own house, everybody is saying, let me enjoy to the best of capacity, and therefore there is so many Ishwara in one house. Right? Everybody wants to be Ishwara. Oh my God. So here, all the activities of the conditions, so within this material world, or what? What? Taking place?
In different types of
Taking place? Why you skip one word? I don't know. We are reading English language here. Right? English literature class. What word did you skip? Read. Perpetually, yeah. Why did we miss the word perpetually? What is the meaning of perpetually?
Continuous.
Yeah. Always, forever, yeah, forever. Here's a teacher behind us, yes. Forever. Perpetually means forever. So all these activities are perpetually taking place in different types of bodies. Doesn't matter, man, woman, animal, insect, whatever. It's the same old story. But how can we come out? How can yeah, how? There are many things here. First thing, yeah, you said it. What should we do? First thing you said it. We should want to rectify, yes. Right? We should want to rectify. It's like I'm going at high speed on the road of sense gratification, right? And suddenly somebody popping in your ears, you're going to hell. Another body, this. Do you stop immediately? No, it has to sink in. Then you stop to put your foot off the accelerator, right? Then you can slow down. What are you doing there when you're slowing down? Rectify, yes. We should be ready to rectify. Each and every word that Prabhupada is writing, we can't skip anything, right? If I'm just saying, read and reread, do not miss any word. No. I remember I heard Sachidananda Maharaj, Sachidananda Maharaj. So he said that how, when he first came and met Prabhupada and attended his lectures, so he was taking notes. He was an avid, note taker. So Prabhupada is giving the lecture, so he's taking the notes. He said that after some years, he heard again what Prabhupada was saying, and it was nothing of what he wrote. Does it happen? Does it happen? I mean, we are all evidence here, right? We are reading Prabhupada's words, but we are hearing something else. Now we miss most important words: perpetual, rectify, right? Intelligence is controller. We only caught the word feminine. Yeah, so here, and one interesting word, of course, was become a member of the spiritual world. Okay, continue.
The process by which one can return home, back to Godhead, is Bhakti Yoga, sometimes called Sanatana Dharma. Instead of accepting a temporary occupational duty based on the material body, one should take to the process of Sanatana Dharma or Bhakti Yoga, so that he can put an end to this perpetual bondage in material bodies and return home back to Godhead. As long as human society works on the basis of false material identification, all the so-called advancements of science and philosophy are simply useless. They only serve a misled human society. Andha yathadir
Upaniyamanaha.
In the material world, the blind simply lead the blind.
Okay, now what is Prabhupada's final instruction here? What should we do? Instead of what? Take to the process of Bhakti Yoga. What is that temporary occupational duty? Can you speak a little Sanskrit and tell me what it is? What is it? Prabhupada has equated Bhakti Yoga to what? Sanatan Dharma, alright? And then he's speaking in English, he's saying a temporary occupational duty based on the material body. What is this temporary occupational duty? Yeah, Varna. Varnashram Dharma. Yeah, Prabhupada is saying it's no use all this Varnashram Dharma. Why?
Because it is based on the material body.
Yeah. No, so many, if you're a woman, you only have to do duties of woman. Right? I mean, you know, this is what's going on here in India mostly. You know, you're a woman, you got duty in Varnashram Dharma, you're just held jail in this, right? That's what's going on. You're held jail. These are your duties. You're a woman, right? So you have to do this. You're just held jailed. And here Prabhupada is saying, do what? Do what? What is the Sanatan Dharma? Bhakti Yoga. Yes, saying do Bhakti Yoga. And in the previous verse, somewhere Prabhupada says, yeah, use your what? Yeah. What type of intelligence? Spiritual. Use your spiritual intelligence. Spiritual intelligence, what is that referring to? What is that spiritual intelligence? What is that? To whom does it belong, that spiritual intelligence? To the soul. Yeah, who said it? Yeah, the soul. Spiritual intelligence meaning the intelligence of the soul. What is that intelligence of the soul? Any guess? Intelligence. The intelligence of the soul finally is referring to what? That's okay. We've gone beyond now. What is that? Finally, what is this? Use your spiritual intelligence. Finally, what are we referring to? Meaning, use your freedom. Alright? Spiritual intelligence, finally, because say, it doesn't matter whether you're Vaishya, Shudra, or Striya. Right? Prabhupada is quoting this verse here. Doesn't matter what you are. But if you use your spiritual intelligence, meaning your freedom, right? You choose, I don't want to be part of this whole Varnashram system when you are just caught in a particular duty based on the body. You go beyond and you say you're going to practice the system of Bhakti Yoga, which is Sanatan Dharma. And Prabhupada is saying that as long as human society works on the basis of false material identification, all the so-called advancement of science and philosophy are simply useless. They only serve to mislead human society. Andha yathandir upaniyamanaha. In the material world, the blind simply leads the blind. Sometimes you think yourself a man, sometimes you're a chaste woman, and sometimes a neutral eunuch. So very clearly here Narad Muni is saying, this is all imagination, that you are a man, you're a woman, or you're a eunuch. This is all because of the body which is created by the illusory energy. This illusory energy is my potency, and actually both of us, you and I, are pure spiritual identities. Now just try to understand this. I'm trying to explain our factual position. All right, we'll have to stop here. So anything else? Yeah, we can't. I mean, the next few verses is huge purport. It's only 2-3, but we'll complete next week. Yes, so any reflections, any questions? It is really like digging out the soul from the body, right? Yeah.
Many times when we are explaining this, people ask us questions. So before we came here, were we in this spiritual world? Were we with Krishna or where were we?
I think this Prabhupada explained this a lot in these purports. I think there's a full purport also about it. The soul is spirit. All right? It is spirit. Plain and simple. And meaning that we are part and parcel of Krishna. And that's as far the answer goes. Where you come from. That's what the question came, right? At the very beginning, what's your origin, right? When this Puranjan, he met that girl, he asked, who are you? Where do you come from? And the woman, what did she reply? Anybody remembers? I don't know. I don't know where I come from. Right? Yeah, 1 minute. Yeah, so it's like, where do we come from? We are eternally part and parcel of Krishna. Plain and simple, meaning we are always spirit, but now we have come in contact with material nature. So there's this book, Jaiva Dharma, Jaiva Dharma, which gives an idea of how, because we think in terms of time, right? So we have to remember that time is a manifestation within the material world, Kala Shakti. It is actually eternal, but that eternal times become limited. So that's why we ask this question. We get limited by time. But just like oil and water never mix, right? Similarly, the soul never mix with matter. So meaning that we are always with Krishna. So only when we stop looking towards Krishna, we turn towards matter, when, right? Time. This is when we are in the material world. So that's why even though we are in the material world, if we turn towards Krishna, then we are in the spiritual world. So Prabhupada keeps on explaining again and again that the material world and spiritual world are not geographical areas. They're simply a question of consciousness, where you're focusing. Are you focusing on, the spiritual world, or are you focusing on the material world? And again, this is more like birth of the living entity, you could say, spiritual manifestation. So we read that, I think it is Balaram and Shankarshan. So like, again, the question of when, so don't take it as just absolute, something is just beyond our understanding because we are too small. Intelligence is very small. And so Radha Krishna exist. So Krishna expands as Balaram, then expands as Shankarshan, and then the jivas, they are placed in different areas within the spiritual sky or the material sky. So those jiva, remember that there is there's Purusha, Prakriti, Radha, Krishna, and the Jiva, who are small, tiny sparks. So these, they are placed in different realms. So some are placed in Golok Vrindavan, some are placed in Vaikuntha, and some are placed in, this is Vishnu Lok actually. This material world, right, is Vishnu Lok, right? Why am I saying this? Yeah, it's the Lok of Mahavishnu. So originally where we are coming from? We are coming from Mahavishnu, right? But we are where Mahavishnu means material energy, where he's in contact with material energy, Rama Devi.
So the Jivas are also in the Brahma Jyoti?
Why the Brahma Jyoti? If you want to merge in Brahma Jyoti, that's where you get stuck there.
Even there the living entities are there. That means the
We are
Brahma Jyoti
everywhere.
is of living entities.
We are everywhere. We are here in the matter, or like I said, you come out, where do you want to go? Okay, you're confused, right? Where do you want to go? So when you are going out, you can get stuck in the non-existence, shunya. You just hang in limbo, they call it, right? Neither here nor there. You're neither in the material world nor in the spiritual world. Shunya, zero. Or you move out, you pop up your head, if there is any head, and then you look into, the Brahma Jyoti, right? And you say, yes, this is what I like, and then you sit there. What is the Brahma Jyoti? Yeah, it's the light. It's the light of the Supreme Lord. It's the bodily rays of the Supreme Lord. So you get attracted by that light. You say, I'm just going to sit there. So you, the Jiva, you just sit there and you don't want to go further. Right? Just like I sit in the sunshine. I just sit there. Or a green bird merges in a green tree. You don't see the bird. Right? It's just some idea.
So is it that we were in the Brahma Jyoti and then we fell down here?
If we are in the Brahma Jyoti, definitely we fall down. We can't sit there forever. This is there in 10th canto.
But we cannot definitely say where we were. We cannot say, tell this answer to anybody, where we were. Like people ask where we were. Were we in the planet? Where in the spiritual world were we?
Yes, so again come that we are eternally with Krishna. We're just reading the whole passage here. Right? Again, No, here it is, very specific. Very specific. Say that both you and I, we are together. Right? We are together.
So
My dear gentle friend.
The next question they ask is, when we say going back to Godhead, and once we go back to Godhead, we don't fall down.
Yeah.
So when we were with Krishna, we still fell down. So if we go back to Godhead, there is again a chance.
So that's why we call marginal, tatashta. So among the jivas, there is one category of jiva who gets attracted by material enjoyment. Not everybody is a prisoner. Right? Most of the population in the world, they are not prisoners because they are obedient to the laws of the state. But as soon as you start to defy, right, you start to defy the law of God, disobedience, right? You say, no, we don't want to accept this Narayan, this Vishnu as the supreme controller. He gives order and I accept. We are all servants, right? As soon as that mentality is developed in the jiv, then he's put in jail. And this material world is the jail. Right? But the soul eternally, originally, is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. You can't dissociate Krishna and the and Vishnu or Krishna. You can't dissociate the two. It's not possible because the soul cannot exist independent of the Supreme Lord. It's not possible. Just like all of us, we are sitting in this room, we are part and parcel of this room, right? Each and everyone we are occupying, right, a space in this room, we are sitting here. Even if I get up, I still need that space for me to exist. So similarly, the soul cannot live independently of the Supreme Lord. It's not possible because we are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. The only thing that happens, we forget that we are part and parcel of Him. That's the only thing. And second thing that happens, we forget we are part and parcel of Him. We forget that we are dependent upon Him. And then we forget who we are. That's the greatest tragedy. Like we lose our soul. We lose our real self. We forget who we are.
So Madhuri, once it is said that we go back to Godhead in the Goloka Vrindavan or Vaikuntha planet, we don't come back. So is it that we still remain as a marginal portion?
Yes.
So is it that we never committed mistake after that, or we
Yes.
can commit a
Yeah. Meaning that if so, we are marginal. So we Tatashta, the Jiva's Tatashta. So when we have the experience of jail, right? So there are two understanding there. Number one, that you can never be separated from the Supreme Lord because it is impossible, right? This is called Param Satyam. The absolute truth consists of the Supreme Lord Himself, His energies, and we are part of His energies. So you cannot dissociate the Jiva, Tatashta, or Nitya Baddha, or Nitya Siddha. You cannot dissociate because existence means the absolute truth, Param Satyam. We get that clear? Alright? So it's just that when we misbehave, then we are placed in a particular situation. Alright? So now when we rectify ourselves, so when we re-enter a relationship with the Supreme Lord, now there is a huge mystery what lies beyond. Isn't it? There is just a huge mystery, but you and the Super Soul are eternally connected and you have your own relationship which is unique. So when we come out and no more trying to be Ishwara, alright? We are done with all this. We don't like it. And we have sufficiently learned our lessons. So inside our head, the soul head, we say, no more Krishna, no more. Remember the story of Narada? The story of Narada, right? He said, where's your Maya? Right? You got tested. Krishna get a good view of the material world. He said, no way, I want to stay with you. So this is what's happened to us. So meaning that we are no longer, remember again, it's like a nightmare. Maya. The nightmare is Maya. It's just an energy that covers the consciousness of the Jiva and make him believe that he can exist independent of Krishna. It's an illusion. It's not real. He cannot. But he gets under the spell of this witch called Maya and he starts to manipulate the material energy. So he's given that material energy which he can manipulate. But then he cannot manipulate it fully. So that's how he becomes frustrated. And then Krishna is always with him. I've been hearing Krishna is always with him and keep on pouring the knowledge of who he is. Jeev Jago, remember who you are. Come back. Come back means take back your original position as servant. That's all. But where we exist in this infinite existence, how do we know? Right? But at least one thing is for sure, is that you can develop your individual relationship with the Lord. And that happens after lot of sadhana. Intense practice. When Krishna is pleased with us, then we are again, the relationship is again re-established. Yeah, there's always a mystery about this because we've forgotten, right? So the Shastra is only giving us indications, cannot tell us exactly each and every one of us who we are, where we are, what is our original relationship with Krishna. That we can't know. But we at least know Swarup Siddhi is there. Alright? Okay, Madhuri, what's your question?
Actually, my question is not that complicated. I just won't take everybody's time. Actually, I wanted to tell you that I am reading Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam. How do I develop that sense where I focus on the very important words like perpetual, reflect, spiritual members? That is, how do I do that?
Well, that's why we are here. Right? When you start reading with others, you're a teacher also, right? So that's what happens. It's like when you start reading, so teachers don't just read, right? Right? So if you teach, because you have to read each and every word, otherwise you can't relate with the audience. So that's why we are reading, and I'm just showing you how to read. That's all. All right. Okay, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Let's offer obeisances. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. It gets very intense, huh? Extremely intense.